Hello students, today I'll be continuing the bacterial infections of oral cavity and I'll be taking up leprosy. Leprosy is a chronic granulomatous systemic disease that is most prevalent in the developing world. In the developing countries, it's spread through the droplet infection, the source of the infection being the nasal discharge of the patient with lepromatous leprosy. It is again a chronic infectious disease caused by Mycobacterium leprae like tuberculosis. The subsequent clinical pattern of the disease depends on the type and extent of the host immune response and could lead to lepromatous type, tubercular type, or borderline variants. Now, what are the oral findings? In lepromatous leprosy, Mycobacterium leprae is present in many tissues of the body and cause multiple erythematous bilateral symmetric lesions on the skin, face, arms and the leg. And the patient will feel like that they are anesthetic lesions. There will be no pain in such swellings. Bone lesions also occur related to the hand, feet, skull, and which leads to deformity all over the body. The lesions of skull may cause atrophy of the anterior nasal spine, either alone or combined with the atrophy of the alveolar processes. In tubercular leprosy, the trigeminal nerve is usually involved, so patient will complain of hyperthesia or paresthesia of the face, lip, tongue, palate, cheeks, and gingiva may occur. The lesion appear as a dry, hairless, plaque-like lesion with a well-defined raised border of 2.5 centimeter in diameter, which on the white skin are red-like and dark skin they are hypopigmented lesions. The patient also complains that the lesion is numb and is anesthetic to touch. This is very important quality of these lesions to diagnose. In the laboratory finding, we scrape the lesion and the smear is made with again the zeal nasal staining is done to demonstrate this acid fast alcohol based bacilli. In tubercular leprosy, it is difficult to demonstrate the bacilli, so the disease is diagnosed on the histological examination for after taking the biopsy of the skin. Treatment is different here. The treatment therapy consists of administration of the dapsone with rifampicin plus clofazimine and ethanoamide are the options as a treatment of choice. Now syphilis. Syphilis is a long back disease. It is caused by Treponema pallidum. It is a syphilis parochial infection. This is a very high likelihood to human transmission of the syphilis through unprotected sexual activity. It has an incubation period of 10 to 90 days. There are various types of syphilis like primary, secondary, tertiary, late, and quaternary. Primary syphilis. After an incubation period of this bacteria, 3 to 4 weeks, there develops at the site of entry a ulcer, which is called as primary chancre, a flat, red, indurated, highly infectious ulcer with a serous exudate. The typical lesion is painless. Edema of the surrounding tissue occurs. The regional lymph nodes become enlarged for about 2 weeks after the appearance of the chancre. On examination, they are firm, painless, rubbery consistency. Most chancre in the male tend to be located in the upper lip and in the females on the lower lip. Intraoral chancres are usually there and they are painful, slightly painful due to secondary bacterial infections. Now, all these chancres are highly infectious and transmission may occur by kissing, unusual sexual practices, and even intermediate contacts with the cups, used glasses, and eating utensils. Secondary syphilis. Approximately 2 months after the healing, the secondary stage of syphilis starts. Fever, headache, malaise, general body ache, pain. The skin lesions are found predominantly on the face, hand, feet, and genitalia. Characteristically, there is a grayish white glistening patches on the mucous membrane known by the name mucus patches, which appear on the tongue, soft palate, tonsil, and the cheek region. There are maculopapular eruptions have been described in the mouth as a oral manifestation. Tertiary syphilis. The reactivation of syphilis can occur at any time 2 to 3 years after the date of the first infection. So the characteristic lesion is the gamma, which is usually localized, single or multiple, varying in the size from pinhead to the lesion several centimeters in diameter. Gamma develop in the skin, the mucous membrane and the bones. Orally, this condition represents a gummatous involvement of the bone with extensive necrosis. The condition is characterized by pain, swelling, suppuration and sequestration following by osteomyelitis formation in the skin. Atrophy and interstitial glossitis is the oral manifestation. Late syphilis. The disease lies dormant without any clinical signs with except for positive serology nothing is there, which may manifest as a cardiovascular or neurosyphilis later on. Congenital syphilis. Treponema pallidum is one of the few microorganisms that has ability to cross the placental barrier. It crosses the placental barrier, thus the fetus may be infected during the second or third trimester from a syphilitic mother. Now, how this disease manifests? It is a latent infection. There is no symptoms, but positive serology is there. In early infections, lesions appear as skin rashes, saddle nose, bone lesions, meningitis appear up to the end of second year of the age of the child. Late infection. After the second year of the age, lesion includes Hutchinson incisors, which is notching of the incisor teeth. Number 2 is mulberry molar. Number 3 is interstitial keratitis. Very important Viva question, that what is Hutchinson triads of syphilis? Hutchinson triads, I again repeat, notching of incisor teeth, mulberry molar and interstitial keratitis. In some patients there is also bone sclerosis, arthritis and deafness. These are the syphilis picture. Laboratory findings include the dark ground microscopy, very important one, cardiolipin test, Treponema pallidum, hemoagglutinin test, and immunofluorescent testing is done. The treatment is only one, the penicillin is given, and the important one here given is procaine benzyl penicillin. If not available or the patient is allergic, we can have other options like doxycycline and erythromycin. Tetanus. Tetanus is caused by spore forming gram positive Clostridium tetani. The spores of the organism germinate under anaerobic conditions and produce an exotoxin. This exotoxin is tetanospasmin as well as hemolysin, which reaches the brainstem and the anterior horn of the spinal cord, either between fibers of the regional nerve trunk or via the bloodstream. The toxin produced increases the muscle tone, means rigidity is there in the muscles, which result in muscle spasm. The source of the entry is commonly a wound or the roadside accident injury by an object contaminated with earth, manure or dust, because this tetanus, Clostridium tetanus, has an excellent property to survive in the dust for many years to years. So that's why the source of entry here is an object contaminated with the earth, manure or the dust. Now, oral findings are important here. There is tonic rigidity of the muscles of mastication. Patient may complain usually of trismus. This means a lockjaw. The question might appear in the exam as a lockjaw also. You have to write here the trismus as tetanus. The patient presents with stiffness of the face followed by difficulty in chewing and swallowing. The edentulous patient may complain of inability to insert the dentures because there is a spasm of the muscles of mastication which often increases until the jaw are locked. Now, how's the description of lockjaw? Lockjaw is the corners of the mouth are drawn back, as you can see in the picture, for first picture. The lips are protruded. The forehead is wrinkled, giving the characteristic appearance of sarcoidosis. Opisthotonus, the spine may become arched and the chest is fixed in a state of expiration. Figure number 3 here. There is an often broad-like rigidity of the abdominal muscles. The laboratory findings are not usually helpful and the diagnosis of tetanus can usually be made from the clinical history and presentation. It is an urgent acute situation, so the treatment must be started immediately. We don't have to wait for lab investigations, because once a clinical diagnosis is made, do not wait for microbiological results. The treatment consists of administration of antitoxin, preferably the human tetanus immunoglobulin is given. After that, a thorough wound debridement is done. Antibiotics are prescribed. Which all antibiotics are prescribed? They are usually the penicillin are prescribed, and sedatives are given to control the muscle rigidity and the spasm. Thank you.